Okay, welcome to Dumb SEO Questions. Each week we meet to answer the questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+. With us tonight we have Edwin Jonk, CEO of IDES Toast in the Netherlands. You'll find him on a website, idesthost.nl. Kartik Bedi is a SEO and web developer from Punjab in India. Masataki Wasa is webmaster of wasaweb.net. He's also a Google top contributor on the AdSense community and also on the Google Plus Help community, and Deputy Mayor of Wimbledon. And Micah Fisher-Kirchner is Senior SEO Manager of Zazzle.com in the United States. All right, let's get into it and have a look at our first question, which is, that's right, we've got quite a few from Chuck Bulletin, about 5. Basically on title tags, but we'll do them all separately. We'll do them all in the same order, though. Chuck asks, what is the preferred order of words in a title tag? For example, I have a page that answers the question, what is the price of a gardener in Managua? Which is preferred and why? Managua price of gardener or price of gardener Managua?
Well, you know, a couple of years ago, people would want it to be, exact and direct to kind of what was there. These days, you could say there's a bit more flexibility kind of in the type of title tag. I actually probably wouldn't necessarily choose the exact choices that you've listed, but I'm hoping that the example you provided is just a quick example, because something normally like that is not is something that Google is trying to essentially kind of start to answer. So,
What's wrong?
Are we seeing a different question now?
It just queued for you on my list.
Look, I'm so sorry. I'll tell you what happened. I forgot to press lock the order, so I thought, I better lock the order in case someone changes it. But then I had to restart, and yes, it's all my fault yet again. Sorry about that, guys. So we'll deal with question 3 first, then we'll zap back to question 1. I mean, you've been answering that one, Edwin, yeah. Sorry, Micah.
Never. So, yeah. So I mean, from a standpoint, you're gonna have different opinions, kind of on that. You'll find that kind of the two larger differences come down to making sure that the keyword targets that you're looking for are towards the front and brand in the back. And then you have others who might prefer a little bit of the brand in the front and then the keyword right after that. So those I've seen as generally kind of the two main areas of what SEOs often recommend. So I don't kind of prefer the specific example or specific preferences that you've listed, but from does it really matter? Go kind of like if the question is going to be what is the price of a gardener in Managua, then what's going to sound from a title standpoint the more correct sounding answer. So that's the way I would look at it. And if it's one of those kinds of simple answers, then even in the title tag would be sufficient. So the other thing is I wouldn't include the question mark as well in the title tag, because that looks like you're just kind of, in this case, a little bit of a reiteration of the question. My general preference is to at least provide something that's going to be a little enticing for them to continue on through, rather than say just the exact phrase that they're looking for. You would still want to include part of it, but at least expand upon what you have there.
Excellent. All right. Anybody else on this one? All right. Edwin, would you mind editing the start time of that question that we answered? Okay. You might wait until we get past question 3, because when I click the button here, it'll change it again anyway. Next, we have another one from Chuck Bollerton. Is keyword density a significant factor in title tags? Irrespective of the 70 or so character limit, it's actually a pixel limit, Chuck, by the way. It's not an actual number of characters. If it was all eyes, you'd be able to fit in 100 in. Anyway, is it better for SEO to have fewer words in a title tag so that from a keyword density perspective, the remaining keywords are seen as more important? For example, which is preferred and why? Keyword or key phrase? The most relevant keyword or key phrase with a bar second most relevant, or broader keyword or key phrase with a bar third most relevant, or broader keyword or key phrase. Chuck, you must have been reading an ebook. Anyway, who wants to answer this one?
You'll find that once again for this part, it's about being succinct. So I wouldn't really necessarily call it keyword density, but what you'll find is often there's a value for every word that's in the title. The more that you put in there, the less value each individual one has. So the best way I usually like to talk about it, and you'll see this as well often on some major sites, is it's about being succinct, and you want to try to kind of target actually the limitation of the visual limit usually, so that you can get everything in there. But that will depend on specific situations. So I think Greg Baca's kind of answer as well with that across the board is going to be, I think, helpful too. Let's see. Yeah. So that's generally kind of a good approach to think about it.
Yeah, I don't think with keyword density, people basically mean that you mention the keyword over and over again. I would mention a keyword only once in a title tag. The title tag is very limited space, so if your page is about gardening, I wouldn't put more than once gardening in the title tag. Just once, that would do. No keyword density in the title tag, please.
All right, let's call that a wrap for is keyword density a significant factor in title tags? Next, we have, should I include adjectives in title tags? I have a Q&A section of my site where there could be a question like, are the doctors in Boquete good? The question becomes the H1 tag. Relevant, or relative, I should say, to my title tag, should I include the word good or not, and why? For example, should the title tag be one of these or something else? Good Doctor's Bouquet or Doctor's Bouquet? I see Kartik Betty has added an answer on this one.
Right, with words like good or best, you need to prove that basically. So if you can prove that those are the good doctors within that specific region, then I think it's fine.
Can I add something?
Sure can.
What I'd like to mention is that you have to use the words from within the page text if you want to have a real impact. So if you compose a title which has no relevance matching the words on the page, that would be more difficult for Google to associate it with the page text. So try to use, you can use synonyms, you can use whatever, but just keep in mind to compose the title and the meta description as much as possible with the words found in the page text.
Excellent. Anybody else? All right. Next question, I think, is the one that I mucked up. Was this yes, it was. So I'll just skip forward to that. And Edwin, if you could edit those queue times. Next, we have how to write a title tag for content containing compound ideas. I have a Q&A section of my site where there could be a question like, what are the best and worst things about living and retiring in Phuket? The question becomes the H1 tag. The reason I write the question this way is that I want to rank for the following keywords. Best things about living in Phuket, worst things about living in Phuket, and best things about retiring in Phuket, and worst things about retiring in Phuket. I'm asleep already. How should I write the title tag?
Compound ideas are perfectly fine. You do want to consider whether or not there's any volume behind it. So if there's no volume, you need to be creating kind of a page around that. Are there other ways to combine even more topics together? So, is it more likely to have, just best and worst things about living in Phuket? Do people really search for retiring in Phuket? Should it be best and worst living, and then on another article, best and worst for retiring? Those are things to think about. Now, and of course, where is Phuket? So, is that one place, country? As kind of Greg as well, again, in the comments is noting for this. It's fine in certain situations if you need to go over the visual limit. Once again, it will vary, but you really want to make sure that you're addressing areas of which there's enough volume, that you are being succinct to kind of answer. And that's really, for a lot of these questions, it's going to be about kind of the succinctness and is it going to be on target. So there are multiple ways to do it, and there's no necessarily the perfect answer for these. They're all going to vary, but things to try to keep in mind is, can you answer? Do you want to include your brand name as a part of it? That's helpful so that people have some remembering value to where they're reading and finding this information. So You got a variety of different things in here, just kind of as when you're going through the multiple questions that can touch upon each of the title tag questions that you have here. So some of these answers are going to be a little repetitive in that way, just as a note.
Okay. Anybody else? I think they've all decided that that's the best answer that could have been given, Micah. Okay, let's move to the next. How to write title tags for places. Another question from Chuck Bolladin, and we thank him for his interest. In my title tag, how do I identify for Google the name of a place which has replicates and areas within areas? For example, I have lots of content about San Francisco, which is an area within Panama City, which is the capital city of the Republic of Panama. I don't want Google to confuse the place I'm writing about with San Francisco, California. Also, I want to let Google know that San Francisco is an area within Panama City, Panama, as opposed to Panama City, Florida. So, so that I make it on the SERP for certain keywords in Panama City, Panama. Let's say that my content is about the construction standards in the suburb of San Francisco, which is in Panama City, in the Republic of Panama. What is the best title tag? I listed some of the possibilities below, although I assume you may even have a better one. Construction standards, San Francisco area of Panama City, Republic of Panama, Panama City, Panama, San Francisco area construction standards in City, Panama, San Francisco. No, Greg, no, Chuck, I should say. I'm sure the guys will have a better idea.
The thing about it is the concern around it is really going to actually be more geared towards other factors outside the title tag. So if you're on a Panama domain, if you've set up kind of the language that represents where people are searching, there's some other factors in there, because depending on how things set up, it's going to dictate a little bit of how specific you really need to be with kind of the title tag and answering the question. If you're dealing with a question that's actually in Spanish from someone in Panama, you probably don't need to say San Francisco, Panama. You just need to say, hey, here's the construction standards in San Francisco, because to them that's going to be the natural concept that you mean San Francisco and Panama on the Panama domain. So there are some varying factors. I don't think you need to be as specific to kind of say in San Francisco, Panama City, in Panama. You probably don't need to go that far in almost all situations. You just got to think what's going to be contextually relevant and make sense to the user who's doing the search. If it does happen to be something that this is for an international group to be doing the search in English, then okay, yeah, you might need to say in San Francisco, Panama, so that people recognize, oh, this is not the San Francisco that most people, in theory, most people have heard about being in the U.S. So just think about kind of the contextual case and kind of what's going to be the relevant answer without going overboard and saying, yes, I know that you mean San Francisco and Panama because I live in Panama. Like, you probably generally don't need to say that. So that's kind of the way of thinking about how to write. It's thinking the broader use of the situation, as well as what are the other factors influencing both users and for Google to highlight, yes, this is about something, say, in Panama, so you don't necessarily need to use the title tag to, once again, note that it's for Panama.
Yep. Anybody else?
Well, the first thing is a correlation between the full website content and these specific pages for which Chuck wants to rank. I mean, is the whole website from, it's all the articles are from Panama City, the San Francisco area? If so, you could add at the bottom of the website on each page a real address from the San Francisco area, and in that way Google might see that your website is strictly related to that area, and it might correlate the answers and the specific related search engine results for that part. Or of course you can use the first, I'd like the most your first title, but I wouldn't put, I would put comma between San Francisco area, comma, Panama City. That's a good title. Of course, it's the keywords are diluted because you have to put the full name. But well, in this way, you're making sure that Google do understand correctly your region. You can try also with A/B testing. I mean, you can do a version of your website with the address at the bottom of the website on each page and put the titles with Panama City and see what happens. In this way, with the A/B testing, you can see what's happening. And that's my suggestion.
Thank you, Arthur. Anybody else? All right. Chuck Bulletin, I hope that's the answer that you're looking for. Now we have a question from Ritu Ahuja on adding social media icons with a share count to Blogger. Ritu said, "Hi everyone, I want to add social media icons with a share count onto Blogger. Is there an easy way to do that?" And a follow-up question, guys, how to check the RSS URL. I would appreciate any help. Thanks. See, Kartik. Kartik also answered this.
Good. I don't know how to use Blogger, so.
Okay. Well, if you're following along at home, I see Kartik said, "Oh, go ahead, Kartik." Oh, look, I'll read it out for you. Oh, no, go ahead, sorry.
Well, when I answer first time for this question, she is not really very satisfied for that. And second time when I answer for that question, she is satisfied with that. I just found her for RSS URL for this blog.
Okay, I didn't quite pick that up, but I see Masataki Wasa has given your answer on the SEO Questions community in Google Plus his stamp of approval. Although Ritu did follow up and say that she's on Blogger, and the initial answer was for WordPress. Oh yeah, and you've got, I can see there you've followed up with some more links for Ritu. All right, I think we can call that a complete answer, and I thank you for the effort that you've put into our community. I didn't do the wrong thing by jumping to the next question, did I, guys? I can go backwards if necessary. All right, here's a question on Google Tag Manager. I hope you guys can answer it because I can't. Sagar Ubari asks, he says that he needs help with the Google Tag Manager. He said, I have added the GTM code to my site, but it is still not getting detected in the Google Tag Assistant extension. Also, the tags in the container are not firing up. Can anyone please help me with this?
Yeah, seems like Dave Elliott got the first correct answer. I mean, he says, have you published the container? I forgot to do that more often than I'm prepared to admit. And that's a right answer for the first thing. You should always not forget to publish the container. But there is also a thing that I've encountered. When you publish the Google Tag Manager container, when you insert it into the website code, it should be not within any HTML tag like divs or spans or anything. It should be put it right beneath the open tag of body and keep it straight into the code without incorporated in any divs or so. That should help firing the tag. Just try it out, and if you encounter more problems, please come up with a link so we can check it out.
Okay, excellent. All right, anybody else? Okay, moving on to the next one. It's a good question. Chacho Jones asks, how do I explain the benefits of SEO? He goes on to say, so clients are asking me about SEO and its benefits. I tell them that SEO is great. However, SEO will never make their sites as popular as they themselves will. My question is, how do I explain the benefits of SEO without making SEO sound like a magic wand that's going to bring new business to them, and all they have to do is wait? He sounds like a responsible bloke, Micah.
I mean, this is the client space. I haven't been in a while, but my first thing is just usually it's like, look, Google is a huge percentage of most sites' traffic and revenue. So, you know, putting the paid search part to the side, you know, you need something to try to do a better job in ranking higher for a large portion of your business. And depending on how sophisticated this client is, you know, it's just like what you would probably want to try to do when you're back in the day before Google, whether it's the yellow pages or the newspapers, is trying to figure out how do you do a better job to not have to spend as much or to rank better in the phone book for specific areas, things that businesses would try to learn. And just like that case then is also today with Google, where you're trying to figure out, okay, what are the things to do to help do better? And SEO is the area of industry for doing a better job on Google. So the thing is, of course, it's not as easy as it used to be, so those are the areas of trying to figure it out. It's depending on the various types of clients, the type of answer is going to get you as well something different, and it's going to vary. So at least that's kind of one of my type of answers to give yourself. Yes, Masataki. Yes, granted the sextuple A1 best trade. I think that might have been a little too far, but yeah, that's probably why some companies were like AAA, or Aardvark, those things to get yourself higher up into the phone book. Yeah, so it's along those lines. I'm sure probably some of the others who have had more direct client experience can kind of talk about what they've pitched or explained as well.
Yep. I often think people think that SEO is all tricks. It's not. It's 99% hard work and 1% of knowing where to hit the hammer on the nail. I think anyway. But all right. Anybody else how do you explain it to your clients?
Well, SEO, it's a lot of a myth, and it's very little known as the hard work from beneath. I mean, what is exactly the SEO? Well, if I have to go with the one phrase answer, I would say that is knowing the latest trends in the market and knowing the latest changes in Google and apply them in a technical way to the website. And is staying up to date with all the changes that Google does, understanding them, trying them out, because if you don't try them out, you won't be able to see what is working and what is not. And that knowledge base, it's applied to the client website to bring it up to date to the latest technologies. So it's not any magic. I mean, there's nothing magic in here. It's only that hard work, and that's it.
I think it is also a part of risk managing. You have to look at the link background, keep your link profile up to date, look if there are spammy links. It can be quite risky to just link everywhere, and you need to manage that so that if your site is going into trouble, you have nice data about your link profile and other things, so you can basically manage that as quickly as possible.
Yep. All right. Well, look. Let's say that's our answer for Chow Chow, and Chow Chow. I hope that's what you were looking for, or I hope it's been helpful anyway. Here's one from Rajesh Kumar, who asks a question about ranking his websites for the same question in different countries. He says it as this: can I rank my websites in the same keyword on different country-specific Google search engine results, and how? Please tell me, thanks.
Well, depending on your website structure, with now Google gets more localized, more and more localized, you won't be able to do that with a website if it's not, if you don't have different variations of your website localized for different countries. Then you have to use a website within that local language and using the keyword in that local language to be able to rank for that keyword. I mean, I'm telling you this as a rough answer. It's much more than that, but I'm trying to be clear that you cannot rank a website for the same keyword, I mean, let's say an English keyword, in different countries. So you have to create versions of your website, translate it in those languages, and please don't use automatic translation, not even if it is from Google or from other sources, because Google doesn't like automatic translations. Just use a translator and translate all your content and use the keyword in that specific language. And that should help you to achieve your goal.
Yep. Anybody else with an answer for this question? All right, Rajesh, I hope you're happy with that. Here's a question from, just waiting for it to come up. Here we are. It's from Athanasios Giannis on the best setup for a bilingual site. Reading the SEO Questions community on Google Plus, the answers given by Richard Hearn were, I thought, absolutely brilliant. But anyway, Athanasios asks, what is the best way from an SEO aspect for a bilingual Greek-English site? And it's www.example.com/el and /en. And it was targeted only for Greece to be set up. Redirects and all. Thank you all. But there was a great set of answers given by Richard. Yeah, go ahead, Arthur. I think I cut you off accidentally. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Don't worry. I would definitely tell you to use the hreflang tag to mark up your website, to put the EN version and mark it up with hreflang as being the English version, and the other one, the Greek one, also you can mark up with hreflang tag to tell Google that that version is for the Greek website. This is also an answer valid for the last question, because I forgot to mention it, that using hreflang should definitely help you a lot to differentiate, at least in the eyes of Google, for different website versions and languages. Two things to mention here. Get the full content translated into the Greek or into the English version. Don't use hreflang if you don't have the full content translated, because you will Google will not know and will not follow the hreflang tag if it finds English content on your Greek web version of the website and vice versa. So just make sure all the content is translated before implementing the hreflang, and just wait for Google to come and crawl. And the second one is that if you have a lot of languages, I mean 2 languages is just fine to implement the hreflang on the website code. But if you have many languages, just consider implementing the hreflang in the sitemap. In this way, you won't overload the code, and the pages will be loading much faster.
Right. Anybody else?
I'm not sure if he has followed Richard's suggestions, because I'm looking at www. That then is 302 redirected to the non-www, and then I think he uses language detection to show either Greek or English version, and that from sort of a non-www to non-www /el is a 301. So I think he's got the 302 and 301s the other way around.
Oh yeah, sure. I didn't see that. I'm sorry. My bad. I just want to say to clean that up all. Just remove those geo-targeted and those messy redirects if you want to use the hreflang. I mean, the first suggestion you've come up with to put a directory right after the main domain to differentiate between the languages, it's very good. With that in mind and applying on top of it the hreflang, you don't need any redirects for whatsoever. Just don't play and don't mess with the www version, non-www versus HTTPS versus HTTP. That will just dilute your PageRank. I mean, if you have all those versions live, the PageRank will dilute between all the versions of your website, and Google will list in the search results only one version, because you will have so much duplicate content. Just stick with one version. I mean, just go with www for the full website or without www, and stick with it and make the necessary redirects. I mean, the 301 redirects from all these artificial versions to the main one you choose to go with, and stick with it. And just because you have so many redirects, allow Google like 1-2 months to settle while crawling your new version of a website. I mean, you won't be seeing very fast results, because Google has to recrawl your new chosen version, and there are some pages that are not, you're not going to see in the index so fast. So be patient. Choose one version, stick with it, and be patient.
Yep. Anyone else? Okay. Here's a question from Abra Mubashar, who said, "Hello, guys. I want to know that I'm running a blog for 4 to 5 months now. I have Google AdSense on it, and I wanted to know how I can SEO AdSense." Yeah, and I think Abra's putting the cart before the horse. Masataki, you deal with AdSense on a daily basis, and manage to repair a lot of broken hearts. What advice do you have for Abra?
Well, I have to turn into Scrooge here and say, well, I mean, the website or the blog is not really suitable for AdSense. It's not a good fit with AdSense. There are a few issues. First is the content. It's essentially a news blog with specifications for certain things and other such, which is very derivative. And essentially the question is, what value are you proposing to your visitors? And to be, I don't want to be nasty, but to be honest, I'm not so sure where there's any. Because if I want the same information, then I could go to well-established information sites or even manufacturer sites, established news sites. So there's nothing in terms of content that would be compelling enough for me to say, yeah, this is the blog that I'm going to turn to for that kind of information. Second is related to the first, and it's to do with the quality of the written language. Blogs and first-person things, so there are going to be mistakes. That's natural. But I think there's a difference between people making an occasional slip or making some typo mistakes, and when someone's grasp of the language is slightly suspect. I'm afraid in this case, I think it's the latter. I'm not so sure whether his written English is up to a standard that would be, how could I put it, would be good enough to compete with other sites or that provide similar information. Thirdly, there are potential issues with images that he uses. He places a disclaimer page, essentially in which he states that he's found them on the internet. obviously that's an issue. You may have copyright issues. If you splash AdSense on your blog, it does become commercial use, I think, in most understanding of copyright law, which itself is a very murky area. So you have to be extremely careful. And it's no good saying, oh, if you contact me, I will take it down. You shouldn't be using someone else's property without asking first. Fourthly, the current ad placement is very ad heavy at the top. I think there are 3 ad units visible above the fold, which I think is too much, and which is too much, I think. So there's several issues. So it's not a, to be honest, it's not a question about SEO at the moment. It's really about asking yourself what you want to do, what you want to achieve with your blog. Are you doing it right? I think Abral has to really ask himself those kind of questions, the sort of fundamental questions, before thinking about SEO or even about AdSense. And personally, I would advise him to take off AdSense from that site, because I think he's playing with fire, and if he continues in this vein, then his association with AdSense will be poor, nasty, brutish, and short. So I don't want to be nasty, but I don't want to be Scrooge-like, but that's my honest assessment.
Good one, Mr. Turkey. Yep. I don't think we need more than that, but I'm going to ask the question anyway, just so that Abra knows that Masataki's response is well regarded by all. Does anyone else want to add to that? Okay, and our next question, and I wish you good luck to it, by the way, Abra. Peter Thomas said, how can I stop my second level pages from cannibalizing keywords? He says cannibalization. I'm fairly new to SEO, so apologies if this is really dumb. And he said, how do I stop my second level pages from cannibalizing keywords which are in the first level URL? Uh-oh.
No, sorry, I'm just reading through.
Yeah, I'm just reading. I've just came upon this question, and I was just visiting both pages to figure it out. So it seems to me that the Heroku frequently asked questions has somewhat the same content with the Heroku partner page. But even though the fastest way, I'm not sure is the best way right now, but the fastest way is to apply a rel canonical tag, but because it's not the same content, I don't think it will help too much. Also, I'm seeing that you started the Heroku partner with a question. So if I'm putting myself in the Google shoes, I could presume that Google thought this is also a frequently asked questions page because you started with a question, and probably Google point all the users to the second page who has more questions and more answers, assuming probably users will find that page more relevant for the query. So depending on what you want to do, just improve the content on the main page, the Heroku partner page, and as much as I like to say, I found an answer here by, let me see, Dimitri Grant, who says remove the keywords from H1 titles and text. That could be a very good suggestion, but that means the Heroku frequently asked questions will drop from the Google's first page if you're saying that it is there, and you're not sure if the Heroku partner page will climb to pick up its place. So you have to do the A/B testing for this in order to test what it is better.
So I'm generally not a fan of removing or de-optimizing the page. I'm actually more in line with what Richard Hearn has. Emphasize one of the pages more. In fact, if given this is on page 2, probably it's not a huge problem. But at this point, you probably could spend better resources actually focusing on the link side than on the content. And that can be what Richard Hearn noted, which is taking your internal link structure and using that focus for the specific page that you want to rank higher, and then the one that's already ranking higher, use that page and link to the other page to kind of suggest to Google, hey, this one's the one that should actually be ranking for this phrase. And then on top of that, then you probably want to try to get some external links to the page you're looking to rank for higher up. Presumably, the effort you've spent on it is already been used around the keywords you're looking for. So, yes, there's probably ways to be optimizing a little bit better, but given that you're there already in page 2, you might as well spend some time for the linking side to help improve it, and think about how you can optimize your whole website by using, I should say, your website to optimize the specific page you want to rank higher through internal, like a more structured internal linking.
Yeah, good one, Micah. Anyone else with a response to this? Moving on to the next, and Peter Thomas, I have that's the answer you were looking for. Next, we have a question from Niraj Kumar. Basically, he's asking, is Google taking unfair advantage? He said, I've always resisted the accusation on Google that it tweaks the search engine result pages for some websites and show them in higher positions. I always believed in the ethics of Google and its fair practice, and it matters to me. Today I searched online advertising, and the result has amused, perplexed, and frightened me. See the screenshot below. And he provided a screenshot which can be seen on the SEO Questions community on Google+, but showing that Google.com and Google.co.in or Google.in were both showing exactly the same page. Anyway, anybody?
Alistair's comment on this is good. I think that the concept that Google does allow for limited use of duplicate content across different domains, that it's an understanding that for different countries that can happen is right, and that is sometimes it does happen. And while it's a little odd, not all of us see this kind of situation happening. It's been known to happen in a lot of cases. There's a lot of times Google may not know which one is the one to show, but it likes both, and it will throw both on there. And sometimes it will temporarily show up, and for kind of a set time period before it does choose one and stick with it. But yeah, as Alistair said, MacCats has a video. Watch it on the Google Webmasters channel, and that will help kind of give some insight on that as well.
Also, if you think that that is a spammy website made on purpose for deceiving Google search results, you can always fill in a complaint, and Google will take a look at this because they like to have their algorithms perfect, as close as perfect. So just feel free to fill in a complaint, and Google will take a look. I can give you a link. I will place a link as an answer over there to the Google Web Spam Report page, and you can pick it up and fill in a spam report.
Micah, do you have the next question? I'm a little bit busy with
Oh, did we lose Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next question, I believe that's question 14, yeah. Hello, everyone. I don't know if this is the right place to ask for help, but I am a little confused, or actually too confused, with the status of my company's Google Plus page. We have 3 pages for the same business, and I'm wondering which one to keep and how to get an up-and-running page verified, while there's already a vacant page verified on Google Places for the same address. I have posted my query in detail on Google support forum here, and then I would appreciate if anybody with good knowledge of SEO and SMO and Google Places listings specifically would kindly help me out with the issue. Thanks a lot. All right. Yeah, so this is where you got to merge the accounts together. If you happen to have a Google AdWords representative, they can often sometimes help you out. So if you've got that AdWords rep, see if you can talk with them about the Google Plus verified page. Otherwise, and I've run into this problem before, is so it's take a look at where you can do the merging. I think Google allows for some of the merging nowadays. I haven't checked in a bit, so I don't know exactly.
Well, I took a look at this this morning, and I don't think she needs to merge. Basically, what is happening here is there are 2 offices, and those both offices have a local listing.
Oh, it's more local listing than G+. We're talking about here.
Yeah, and the third account is basically their Google Plus business page. What I will do in this circumstance is verify both the businesses and just keep the main Google business page as your, let's say, corporate entity on Google Plus. You can have them all. You can have all 3. Then you have basically a main business page and then 2 local listings. Because if you're going to merge your main Google Plus page to some local listing, then you're basically destroying the main Google business page. That's how I would do it.
Well, the issue is that there are 3 local Google Plus pages for 2 locations.
Masataki, I think getting feedback on your end.
Yeah, I can't hear you either. It's a lot of noise.
Really? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, good. Okay, so there are 3 local Google Plus pages for 2 locations. So there will be at the end, in any case, at least 2 local Google Plus pages. So what I think it's a she, isn't it? She can do is merge the 2 unverified local Google Plus pages, because the name of the business matches, the addresses don't, but they clearly refer to the same business. The telephone number is the same. So I think she will have to verify the listings, and then she'll be able to merge the 2 local Google Plus listings into one. That will have to be done by, I think, contacting the local Google Plus people. It will have to be, as it were, manual intervention, as far as I'm aware. You cannot do it on your own end,
You
because
could
it
do
is
it.
actually.
No, you could
Sorry?
do it if you could do it if you verify them there first. You have an option in the menu. If I remember correctly, you have an option who allow you to merge 2 pages if you're the verified owner of both. So if she wants to merge all 3, she has to do this in 2 steps. First, merge 2 pages. After the merge is complete, you're getting an option to delete one of them. So you can delete the one of them and you will remain with only one. And after that, you can merge that page also with the business page. Also, if you are the verified owner of both.
No, there are 2 locations, so you cannot merge 3 into 1. You could merge the 2 into 1, but not the 2 locations into a single local Google Plus listing, because they're all 3.
But she has 2 offices, right?
Yeah, so she has 2 offices.
Yeah, in different cities, I think, or
in different cities, different locations.
Yeah, so then you basically need 2 listings, right? Because you want both the listings in Google Maps and in Google Search. So you need them both, right?
Yeah.
No need to merge them.
So then why she wants to merge them?
No. Okay, so there are 3. Okay, there are 3 Google Plus pages, local listings. One is for partners consult.
I don't think the one isn't a Google local page. There are only 2 local pages which aren't verified, and the other one, that's not a local business page, is it?
No, that's an unverified local listing.
It's not a Google business page.
Just let me get a link.
Yeah, as far as I understand, the third one, it's a Google business page.
Yeah, not a local business page.
No, if you look at the About section, then it looks like an unverified local to me, because you have category.
Yeah, but
you can't have a category on Google My Business.
I see.
Non-local.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's an unverified. That the problem is that I think this is an unverified. Sorry, I'm getting confused, but I'm pretty certain that this is an unverified local listing. So, and if you look at the address, one has the street name and the suite number. The other one just has the street name. So I'm not so sure how they were generated, but those 2 are definitely referring to the same local business. And I think those can be merged. But as Arthur said, they will need to be verified.
Indeed, the first one is verified, has already been changed. The URL has been changed. They chosen the friendlier one, and there are 2 of them. Yeah, the first one is verified and is plus Calancius, so they already personalized it. So they have another two of them, which
That's
practically
odd.
point on the same spot, as far as I can see.
Yeah.
So she has to merge them on two steps, in my opinion. I mean, she has to verify one of them first to be the owner. She can merge it with her her first page, and then she can drop it. She can delete it after the merging process is complete, and then she can verify the third one and do the same thing. She can merge with the remaining one and also can delete it after that. And in this
No,
way
because
she
there
will
are two
have
locations. Arthur,
yeah,
because
I
there are two
understand.
locations. So she cannot
Probably,
merge the second step. She can do the second step.
yeah, maybe. If she wants to have two different pages for the two different locations, then has no point on merging all three into one. But anyway, we need more
Yes,
details.
yes, indeed, I agree that there are
I'm
three local
confused
businesses.
because
Yes.
yeah, it may be that the one with the custom URL is a converted one, but then in order to convert one, you'd have to have your local listing that's going to that's going to be converted into verified. So I'm not so sure how that's possible. I mean, I'm not a local expert. I don't really know enough about local to say, but it's confusing me no end at the moment.
Well, how am I seeing it is that the main page, the Callens one, the first one which is converted, has the same address with the second one which is not verified. So it makes sense to verify the second page and then to merge it into the first one. Then the third one should also be taken, should be also claimed as an ownership, but not on the same account. She has to make a new account. She has to make a new account for that specific address because the address is different. So I presume that that's for the second office of hers. So she has only to claim it, and that will be listed in Google search results as the second office local plus page. And that's
exactly
what she has to do. And in this way, she can shot two rabbits with the same bullet.
Yeah. So I think
take the
she
second
got
page.
responses in the...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so you have to take the second page, just claim its ownership while you're logged into the account of the first page, which you already personalized. Merge these two pages, which have the same physical address. After the merging process, just drop the second page you merged because you have no use of it. And the third page you're having, which is also unclaimed, log in into a different Google Plus account, which you created specially for your second office location, and just claim this page to become your main local listing page. Just start personalizing it, and you will have two fully functional local plus pages, which will be listed in Google Plus search in Google search results for these two offices. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
How is she to claim the page if it's already been activated by another user, or is it not that way?
Jim, is not activated by another user because you have a link at the bottom of the page which says manage this page. Is this your business? That's the sign that it has not been claimed yet, so it's free to be claimed by anybody.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Have we covered this, do you think? Do you think there's enough there for Kamal to go on with?
Yep, I think so.
Okay, let's move on. Thank you for reading this question for me, Micah. I'm sorry I had to be out. Question 15 is on the impacts of changing a title tag and description tag. And Piyush Vasoya is looking for reassurance from you guys. He said, hello, one of my websites is getting good rank on my targeted keyword, but today I changed the metadata for the title tag and description tags. And so I am worried about it. Do you think it will have a negative impact on my ranking or a positive impact, or simply stay the same?
Well, nothing will happen with the, most likely nothing will happen with the description change, unless it looks extremely spammy and stops people from clicking through. The title tag, it's not the same impact as it used to be, and it all depends on the market and where the competitive space. So, you know, presumably, if you've made a change, you're doing something, I'm going to assume, for the better. You know, that's what, you know, that's what kind of testing is. You'll kind of see how the change goes, and you'll be able to determine, hopefully, from that, in your view, what's going to happen. So, you know, time will tell on that.
Yep, agree with Mika. Just be prepared to return to your old version if you see negative impact on Google. So keep the both versions and be prepared to switch back if something bad happens. But if you said you optimized the tags, especially the title tag, because the meta description is not used for Google in rankings, but can attract a lot more clicks if it's smartly written, prepare to revert the changes.
Excellent. Anybody else? All right, let's move on to our next penultimate. Actually, it's our last question for the evening, guys. You've done it again. Thank you for that. This is our 99th answer for duplicate content. Julio Marquez said, hello guys, I need your suggestion about using another website's API which lets me collect and post the origin website's content, talking about my niche, into my own site. Could this action be interpreted by Google as duplicated content or not? Thank you.
Yes, don't do that. That's the definition of duplicate content. Just copying another website and make it as it looks like it is your own. In this way, you will face two actions from Google. It can see you as a totally duplicate content website, and it will drop you from search results because it finds you unworthy. Or if your website is receiving more links than your competitor, it can see you as the owner of the content, and it could be dropping him from the search results, which will make him your enemy. No, I'm just kidding. Be very careful in copying other websites' contents.
Yeah,
I mean,
there are some
go ahead.
exceptions. Bear in mind with that, just like with everything, really in SEO. Things to keep in mind. You know, if you're talking certain kinds of search results, so let's say like comparison shopping engines, that might be an exception. If you're pulling in some duplicate content but adding to it to provide more additional data information, then that might be okay. That could be okay. And then, of course, there's the are you rewriting, reordering, and making it a better experience that people find to be far better, like, let's say, putting something into an infographic or something. Those are exceptions to kind of keep in mind.
Yeah, what Mika was trying to say, just add something from your own to that already copied content. Elaborate on it. Add some value to it if you want to rank for that content. You can even rewrite that content. What you're not allowed to do, I mean, not that you're not allowed, but just beware, don't use spinning just to switch some sentences. I mean, make the sentence 4 to be the first and so on and so forth. Just don't spin the content, the same content. That's a very old and known technique from Google, and that would definitely look like spamming. So just add some value, add some more text to it, and you should be fine.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, Julio, I hope that is useful to you. So we have answered all of our questions, which is a great thing. Now we move on to our SEO news community, where we conduct a weekly SEO news roundup. Through the week, diligent souls like Edwin Yonk and Micah Fisher-Kirshner track down new items that have occurred in SEO in the previous 7 days and place them on the SEO news community on Google+. And now we will talk about them. First one was put there by Edwin on a blog from the official Google blog on or saying that hidden content for mobile content is okay. I'll just read the other bit that Edwin put in. He said you'd think that Google would look at mobile templates for mobile rankings and desktop for desktop rankings, but no. As we covered recently, I know it wasn't your comment, it was theirs, Edwin. Many mobile ranking factors are solely based on the desktop site, not the mobile site, believe it or not.
Well, let's see. Let me. Yeah, I'm not entirely. Yeah, I'm not surprised by this kind of answer. I think the reason is if you think about it from. I think this is probably something that will be okay for the time being, but when you're building websites for the desktop level and you're trying to do responsive design, the amount of content and how you place it is going to be different. You have tabs and kind of rollout menus that come from different directions that I think, given such a limited real estate, that the formatting and how you present stuff on mobile is not as pressing of a factor, at least today, for an answer of why they're giving that type of answer. And I can understand keeping everything specifically based on the desktop variation. It's very difficult to get links from kind of the mobile end to kind of, if you have a separate domain. So I see kind of why they're doing that, at least today, and I can see that eventually changing from a standpoint of keeping it all the same. But I see why they believe kind of today that it's okay to hide the content away, and for them that the real focus is still on how the desktop version looks.
Sorry about My mic was muted. That's a good answer, Micah. Anybody else on this one?
Well, I've been in this hangout with John when John said that, and the discussion was about having the JavaScript hidden tabs. I mean, if on a desktop version you are able to see all the content, on a mobile version, because the screen is so small, you won't be able to see everything. I mean, everything will be very small. So in order to be able to hide a part of the content, to be able to see more topics on a page, and then to click on read more to elaborate, that's allowed. And Google won't mind about hiding things under the tabs. And that was the tab. And since Google started to crawl pages in a smart way, just like a browser does by interpreting the CSS and JavaScript and so on and so forth, I think it can figure it out to some extent if you're trying to hide this in an SEO purpose to deceive the search engines and the users, or you're doing that to earn some space on that device. So it's just fine. I mean, nothing to worry about. One thing I'd like to add, just make sure your mobile version is search engine friendly. And do as much as you can to improve that, because next year will be the mobile year.
Yes, I think you're probably right. Well, anybody else? Three news items to go. Google now shows song lyrics in search results. Micah Fisher-Kirchner poses the question, should this also be only limited to Google Play, as the link was going to other song sites to buy from? Hello, Richard Hearn. Merry Christmas, mate.
Hello. Strange. Can't believe you're all here.
We've lost the key. We can't walk away.
So, Mika, why are you saying that this should be limited to Google Play? Why do you think so?
Oh, I'm not saying it should. It was generally just kind of a question system because, as far as I'm aware, my view is that it should be more comprehensive. But the examples that at least I've seen and shown have been so far only on Google Play.
Yeah, well, I thought you said Google should be listing this only on.
No way.
Because for me, this is a very, very I don't know, expected and wait for it feature, because I'm playing guitar and I often do need lyrics, and it's difficult from a mobile phone just to enter every website to search for the lyrics.
Yeah, no problem on that. That part, yeah. I understand why they're doing it. My concern is that it's going only to Google Play, where then you can go and buy the song.
Yeah, definitely.
That to me is where it gets sketchy, and it's like, okay, this should probably have other options available rather than just Google Play.
Yeah, true. For this, I agree with you. I mean, if they only they force you somehow to buy it, and from their own system. I mean, they don't give you a choice to buy it from Google Play or from other websites,
Yeah.
And in this way, they can get dangerously close to a monopoly.
Well, the thing about monopolies is that there's nowhere else to go, whereas on the internet you can. So it's
well, you can buy from iOS, right? So why do they offer you only Google Play? I mean, if you're fair.
Because it's their system.
And because they can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a test and it's new, so I usually am okay with them trying stuff. We'll see kind of how it pans out, but at a certain point, yeah, they need to be showcasing other examples to buy from.
But isn't this a huge ad for Google Play? So a little bit above the fold issue?
I wouldn't say it's above the fold issue. It's more of a leveraging their products when it really should be showcasing multiple types. It's especially in an area where I don't know if Google Plays
I would like to see examples of Prince. He's such a nice guy on the internet. So let's see what Prince is doing when they're showcasing this.
All right, moving onward, the next news item from the SEO news community on Google+. I was surprised by your description here, Mike. We had a little chat in the comments, but you said this is just SEO news, mate. I mean, well, maybe I just misunderstood. Anyway, I think these warnings that are going to go out well, I think they're jumping the gun a bit. That's my opinion, anyway.
Well, first off, it's not. We don't know yet if it's going to. I mean, they were submitting it to a community and with or towards other browsers as well. So it wasn't like they're going to make it. It was a question of like, hey, should this be a change in the whole system? So obviously, I do think it's the wrong approach because nothing like people overreacting to kind of what is and isn't secured and not really understanding kind of some of those differences. So yeah, it's especially for something that's kind of like it's more around kind of connection stuff than it is people are gonna misunderstand and think it means the whole site is secure when it's not. It's just a very niche part of a connection that's secure than it is like saying the full site is really secure. Plus, on top of that, it would just be overly broad to basically so many older sites and smaller sites would have potentially suddenly this saying that it's unsecure connection everywhere across the web, because that's that's a lot of sites that where like smaller sites that are why should I go and get an HTTPS? It's a pain in the butt and da 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 da. Like smaller blogs and everything. There's no need for them. There's no desire for them to really care about doing that. And so for them to suddenly highlight them as unsecure is it's more trouble than it's worth. So I think the current approach is the better way of looking at it anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Arthur, top left of the left-hand menu, there's a green arrow. If you click that and follow the instructions there. Excuse me.
You're meaning here on the Hangouts?
Pardon?
Here on the Hangouts, or where?
Yes, on the Hangout. Yep. Mouse over to the left-hand side. You'll see a green arrow at the top.
Yeah, that says screen share.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Click that
okay, and I should share the Q prompter, right?
Yes.
I'm sharing the Q prompter. Okay. I'm doing that. How do you see me, guys? It's okay? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, thank you. Looks great.
No problem. All right, moving on to the next. This is the most welcome news I've seen for a long, long time. Dwayne Forrester, who was kind enough to appear on Dumb SEO Questions 100th episode, was laid off 60 days ago. Somebody at Microsoft must have had a rush of blood to the head. I don't know, maybe they walked into a door jam and they're a little bit, their ears were ringing or something. But anyway, they laid off Dwayne 2 months ago. And all of a sudden, Dwayne is back in his rightful place, working for Bing. Yeah, I thought that was great news. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm thrilled. I mean, it was a great loss even for us, for everybody, when he left, because he always sharing with us things and insights from Bing, which is not so popular. So it's very nice to know things and to find out things. So it was a great loss. I'm glad that finally Microsoft acknowledged that it's a great loss for them too. I mean, that's why they've called him back, right?
No, I think he's working for a different division. He was working for Microsoft itself, but doing Bing things like looking after the Bing webmaster site and also looking after the schema.org site, or at least his team was. This may well be a job where he's primarily employed by Bing. I don't know.
Well, I've read his statement, and he said he will do the same thing, but the only difference from before it is that now there are other people who will speaking from Microsoft's behalf too, beside of himself. So just I've read what he wrote. So he probably be doing the same thing, speaking at conferences and sharing Microsoft knowledge and so on and so forth, but along with some others.
Yeah, he's going to do more on the API side, but he will still be on the webmaster blog, the Bing webmaster blog, of course. So I read it as just a little bit of change and nothing more.
Anyway, I'm sure it's a very popular reappointment. I'm sure that everybody is really glad to see that happen, and we wish you all the best, Dwayne. Okay, so our next is no, we haven't no next. We've done it again. We finished both the SEO questions and the SEO news. We have nothing in our Google Analytics community this week, and nothing in our other community either.
So then I propose something.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Guys, let's talk about Christmas. We are on the first Christmas day. Or I'm the only one which is on the first Christmas day.
Is it Christmas?
Yes, it is. So, Merry Christmas to you all and to our listeners, and may the God bless you all, and let's be a better community with better people and share love and knowledge everywhere.
That's a wonderful thought, Arthur. Now, when you say better people, do we have to get rid of the ones we've got?
No, better people. It means it means each of us to be better, not necessarily technically speaking, but even internally. I mean, soul, our soul, to be better, to do better, and I don't know how
Okay.
to say it, but you all got the thing.
Yeah. All right. All right. Look, I see we still have viewers, and we thank you for that. Your interest in what we do makes what we do worthwhile, and we appreciate it very much. We're going to go to Green Room now, and we'd like to have you join us. I'll go to the SEO Questions community on Google Plus, and I'll place a link there that will put you straight into the Hangout. We won't be on air, and what you say won't be recorded, but we'd really like to have you come and chat with us. Okay, and besides, we have lots of fun in our Green Room. Okay, so we'll be back at the same time next week, and we'll look forward to doing it again then.